Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I love meeting people that are always making stuff.
Yeah.
You are always making stuff.
I can't stop.
This thing is 3 discs. This is not a disc, though. This is a record.
It was cut down from 5.
It was?
Yeah,
I mean,
actually kind of was, yeah.
I mean, that is, why? Why? You know, everybody says now, keep it short, 40 seconds. That's too long.
Right.
And then I open up Twilight Override, your album, and it's 2 hours of music.
But people also listen to podcasts where 3 guys talk for 4 hours about, I don't know.
Bullshit.
I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It was just like I've made a lot of records. I've made some double records in my life, and I've always been kind of curious why more people haven't made triple records.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what I think could be next.
It's quadruple.
Quadruple.
Right? Yeah. I'm way ahead of you.
You already got that figured out. Did you sit down to write 3 or 5 or whatever it was, or does it just flow?
Well, I tend to write a lot. Yeah. I mean, I have a pretty good disciplined practice of writing a lot. Yeah. So I always have quite a few songs, but I did set out to make a triple record. I did think, I wonder what you can do with a triple record in terms of having different types of moods, meet other moods, what you wouldn't have if you just go for the bang for the buck kind of single record.
I will say I was immediately intrigued by the length because everything now is so short, and it's a little punk rock of you to say, I'll do whatever the I want.
Yeah.
And I respect that. That was really great.
Yeah. Yeah, leave them wanting less. I mean, I've been saying it.
What is Twilight Override?
Twilight Override is, just this notion that I'm getting older, that the world appears to be getting darker for a lot of people. I think looking around, it just seems that way. It doesn't feel as hopeful as it once did. The future doesn't seem as bright. Yeah. But I don't know. This is the thing that I do to combat that, and that is I spend time making things, being creative, trying to spend time with things that love me and people that love me, as opposed to things that don't. Right. You know, like I don't think my phone loves me.
Yeah. If anything, the phone makes you feel isolated, even though it's sold to us as connected.
Right. There's a kind of a willingness on our part, which is kind of shocking, to get up and kind of put ourselves in a cage every morning of like who I'm going to start thinking right away about who I hate. Yeah. You know.
I'll go to the dog park, and I'm standing by myself, and my dog's running around, and there's 20 people, and there's 30 dogs, and I'm not talking to anyone, and I'll immediately go to grab my phone to scroll, and I'm like, what is better entertainment?
Right. That's a pretty high dog-to-person ratio.
It is. And there's nobody more entertaining than the weirdos with dogs.
No, multiple dogs.
Multiple dogs. So, I mean, I love that. And I always feel myself personally, I'm happy when I'm creating.
Right.
You've written 2 books. One of your books is about how to write a song. And, man, when I read that, I can't tell you how much as a comedian that also pertained to writing comedy.
Right.
And I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You didn't write a song?
Right, so your book was a failure, in my opinion.
No, I just want to make sure you didn't write 2 songs, because then you need to buy 2 books.
2 books, yeah. No, but you talked about becoming a songwriter and how, I think maybe it was even in your journal or something, you shared a journal entry and you're like, these are song lyrics that I was writing.
Right.
You don't always think you can write a song, but maybe, is it in me? I can do it?
Oh, absolutely.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you just have to lower your definition of what a song is. Right.
That's what I do for jokes. It works for jokes.
Exactly. No, we ask too much of that stuff.
That's true. We expect it to be all great. One thing I love is that you're playing with your kids.
Right.
Right? Is there 2 kids that you play with?
Yep.
Okay, and they're in the band.
It's the maximum number of kids that I have that are in the band.
I'm thankful that. What's that experience like? I have a 5 and a 2-year-old. I can't even imagine doing anything productive with my children.
Yeah. Oh, it's not productive. Okay. But I mean, you get on the floor with them. You know, you have to get on their level.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I still do. You know, they're 30 and they're going to be 30 and 26. It's an incredible experience, and I do pay them though.
Okay, I was going to say.
So I do.
I've heard you talk a little bit about COVID and how it's affected all of us, and we kind of don't talk about it now, but share some of your thoughts on what you think COVID did to us.
Oh, wow. Okay, well.
Yeah. Well, it resonated with me.
I just think that I think it's everybody's walking around with dealing with some trauma that isn't really being discussed or addressed or even diagnosed. And I think it was just an extremely traumatic time. There was a moment where it felt like it could be a breakthrough in terms of how we all see ourselves in the same situation and could be more empathetic towards each other. And it was kind of squandered and politicized really fast. But I think that it's been swept under the rug, and it kind of explains a lot about how poorly a lot of people are behaving, in my opinion. Is you know, I think when you're really struggling and you're in pain and you have trauma that's unaddressed, those tend to be things that allow you to be a little bit less forgiving of other people and hurtful, you know?
Yeah.
So I just think it's part of what explains this kind of really chaotic time I think we're living in.
I've noticed on my street, since that time, people drive faster down the road.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was always idiots that did that, but now it feels like more idiots.
Everyone.
Yeah. And I wonder, we must be feeling disconnected because you wouldn't recklessly drive if you felt more connected to all of us.
Yeah, or just rolling through stop signs. I've noticed that. That's a similar thing. Yeah, I always think it's like people have spent more and more of their time with things that don't love them, like their phones. I always think of it like the shopping cart, you know, like when you're in your car, you can scream at somebody else, and you're like, they can make minor little like accident, and a little wave doesn't even help. You're just going to get yelled at and like whatever. But if you bump into somebody with your cart at the grocery store, it's like, oh, sorry, my fault, you know. And that's because, you know, you're still human in that context.
I like that.
But I think that when we're inside a machine like a car or inside of our minds with a phone, I think we tend to dehumanize each other quite a bit.
Sometimes people will send me mean messages on the internet, and like an idiot, I will respond to them.
It's a terrible idea.
And they'll go, oh, it's you, Kosta? I love your stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, next time, start with that one.
Yeah.
Start with that one.
Yeah.
Lastly, you're from the Midwest, and you don't meet a lot of rock stars from the Midwest. You're from Southern Illinois. Talk to me about how that's influenced you, if it has at all. I'm a Michigan man myself. I went to University of Illinois, so I'm just always rooting for any creative person to have any form of success from the Midwest, because most of these people in New York don't even know what the I'm talking about.
Right, exactly.
I tell people I'm from Michigan, and they say, oh, I have a cousin in Minneapolis. And
exactly.
I'm like, that's not even the same state.
Right,
it's a 14-hour drive away.
Right. Yeah. No, people don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
No, I think that the thing that I can attribute to being my formative years as a musician being spent in the St. Louis, Missouri area, which is I grew up on
St. Louis right there. Yeah.
I grew up on the other side of the Mississippi from St. Louis, on the East St. Louis side, and I just think that you're given an opportunity to suck for longer.
Yeah, it's true.
Before people start weighing in on how, evaluating you, you know?
I remember I moved to L.A. after I'd done comedy for 5 years in Detroit. I went to this awful Mexican restaurant that was doing stand-up. And I bombed hard. Yeah. And the guy who comes up first was the booker for HBO. You know, and I'm like, man, this was a lot easier in Detroit when nobody ever saw me that had any significance.
Yeah.
So I guess what you're saying is that's what you did.
No,
for a
you
while.
have a time and space to practice.
To play.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here. Twilight Override is available now. You can catch Jeff on tour in the scene near you. Jeff Tweedy.